No way, man.
Made it freaking void, yo.
No way. She's really going.
Dude, it's driving already.
We're in an XJ, man. This is awesome.
It's got power.
Sounds cool, dude.
Get power.
Sounds awesome.
Oh,
we got brakes. Uh-oh. Man caught up using
tires.
Dude, she's
Like
she's rowdy already,
but it's got so much power.
dude.
It's so peppy.
Let's drive over the thing, dude. The jump.
First obstacle.
First obstacle in the Jeep. Let's go. Oh yeah.
Didn't even bottom out.
The brake over, dude.
It's running out of gas though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're burning all the old gas out of there, which is good, man.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't think I was gonna drive my XJ today.
Well,
No way!
dude, this is good.
I didn't think it was gonna drive today, dude. I thought maybe it was gonna run like crap, and frig, man, it's running.
Dude, we can finally wash it.
Codes, dude.
We can
Oh
wash
my
it. We gotta get a
goodness.
battery though that'll fit, or a battery tray. I don't know. Dude,
It works. Okay. Now we gotta try 4-wheel drive.
let's go find some mud, dude.
All right, hopping into 4. I think it's 4 in the flats. So let's see.
You think?
I think it is because it went right into it. So.
Hopefully.
All right, let's try cranking it. Oh.
That's 4. I feel it.
4. It's understeering like heck right now. Oh, what does part-time mean? It says part-time. Oh, part-time 4-wheel drive probably.
Oh, what the?
Okay, so this is my new Jeep XJ. I acquired this thing for absolutely free. My dad has a pretty much built XJ, and he wanted this as a parts vehicle, so he acquired that, and then it sat in his yard for a long time. I showed some interest in it. He told me that he wanted it for parts, and he wanted me to buy it from him. So then I did what the smart move was and wait for him to realize that he's never actually going to dig into it, and picked it up myself. So as you guys have seen so far, we did get the motor running, and it runs kind of rough. However, the good news is I did do an oil change on this, and the old oil looked actually pretty good for being sat for around 8 years, I believe it sat. So it actually didn't look too bad, and the good news is I didn't find any oil shavings, and then I did cut apart the oil filter, which was nasty, but again, no oil shavings. The original owner of this vehicle said the motor had been blown, so it's pretty surprising that there aren't even any oil shavings in here. They described the motor to start chugging, and they thought it was done. But when I got it to run, it does kind of idle very rough at low RPMs, and sometimes it does stall out as of right now. But I think there's a couple of reasons behind that. But at high RPM, it seems to do just fine. So we'll try and get that figured out, and we'll have ourselves an XJ. So the condition synopsis on this vehicle is it's actually not too bad from a cosmetic perspective in terms of rust. 180,000 miles on there, so it is very well used. It's been driven a lot, so we're not expecting the greatest shape. However, it does have a lot of hidden rust. When we went to gut out this vehicle, it does smell like about 8 years of mouse crap and mold and mildew and all the other gross stuff. So I have been gutting it out. Oh yeah, the gas shocks do not work. So as you can see, we can kind of see the floor in a few spots. Here and back there is very bad. Yeah, so it's pretty much borderline structural damage, completely hidden, which is new for us. Typically, when something is rusted out in Minnesota, it's like coming up the doors and you're like, oh, that's junk. Whereas this thing has very little rust on the doors, so you'd think it'd be pretty good, but in reality, it's pretty bad. And as you can see, the worst of it is in front, where we haven't taken out the front carpet yet because there would literally be no spot to put your feet, and that is on both sides. So those are the main things that are going to need to be fixed. However, the drive line is so far decent. So let's get into the problems. Like I said earlier, this vehicle does have a problem with low RPMs and stalling when, you know, at low RPMs when you start putting load on it. So like when you're in first gear and you're trying to go up a hill or like ramps or something to work on it, it does like to stall. I did go through and I put new spark plugs in it, and there's something interesting I noticed when I was replacing the spark plugs. From the first spark plug to the back, there was an interesting kind of fade going on from rich to lean. At the first spark plug, the plug looked pretty good, almost as if it's been running a little too rich. And then at the back, it was pretty tan, almost as running lean. And like I said, it got richer and then less rich all the way to lean. I actually do have the plugs. I'll show you those. In the first cylinder, the plugs look like that. As you can see, it's very dark, and it almost looks like it's running a little bit too rich. But then all the way in the back, as you can see, this one was obviously running very lean. Now, I did not check the plugs before I attempted to start this. I did run this engine and drive it on these plugs. So whether it was like this when it was parked, or like this when it happened, or if this happened when I started it after sitting for a long time, I don't exactly know. However, I think I know the reason why this is happening. So as you can see, this is the fuel rail right here, and it goes from front to back, and the fuel comes primarily from the front. It comes up here and goes all the way back there. So what I'm thinking is that somewhere in here there's gunk and clogged up stuff, because at the front it's getting good fuel, and at the back it starts to get bad fuel. So I think it's clogged up just enough so when there's little fuel pressure, like when it's at idle, the back barely gets any fuel, and that causes it to kind of misfire. But when I have it wide open, it seems to be running on all the cylinders because there's enough fuel pressure to make it to the back and give a decent stream. Oh yeah, because this one goes to the manifold. So if the PCV goes to the manifold, it can cause a vacuum leak to distribute air unevenly. So it might be pushing more air into the rear cylinders and less into the front. So I have no idea. If you guys have some input, I would love that. But anyways, let's get on to the solutions. Okay, so here I have 2 kinds of seafoam, aka the Wombo combo of restoring OEM horsepower. This is the stuff that you can use in crankcase and oil, or in your fuel. So this is like the fuel treatment stuff. So we'll be putting this in the fuel, and hopefully that will help clean up any of the fuel rail or injector issues we have. And then this stuff goes in your intake, so hopefully this will clean up anything in the intake. Hopefully it will take care of some of our intake issues, and these things in general should hopefully restore some of the power and start cleaning things out. There's also some speculation that... Alright, so it recommends, I think, about 1 ounce per gallon. I have no idea how much is in here. I think we poured probably like 3 or 4 gallons in it before, and then we drove a lot. So I'm going to put a generous amount in here, just because it's probably going to need about more than average anyways. And then we got this stuff, which goes on the throttle body. We have the straw going into just above the throttle body. So I'm going to fire this thing up, and then I'm going to hold it at an RPM, and Levi's probably going to push this, or maybe I can do it myself, I don't know. Okay, so we have it hooked up to the OBD2. You can see it thinks the coolant is at 266, which could be correct. I have no idea. So you should probably shut it off soon. Throttle, okay, revs. Alright, we just flushed the coolant system a little bit with water and we verified that the pump was working, so we're gonna watch it creep up now. I don't know, okay, 197, 204, 208, holy cow, 213, 219, 222, 224. That's weird, it should be cooling fine, I don't know. Alright guys, well, this thing is proving to be quite a dog. No, it's proving to be quite, say it.
It's just difficult, man. That's all I was
A bear. And,
yeah.
and so, yeah, we're trying hard. That's going to be the end of our trial and error process for today. So